We have a lot of speakers. For the benefit of the audience, I'm going to manage to make everybody mad at me, but we don't have enough time. We're going to have to stop this meeting at 7 o'clock because this is a scheduled regular council meeting tonight. So what I plan on doing is stopping briefly at 7 o'clock and opening the regular meeting and then going in to adjourn it while we continue this meeting. But there's some time element involved here, and we have an awful lot of speakers. And I might say, if there's anybody that wants to talk that has not filled out a salmon-colored card, please do so, because at some point I won't accept anymore. And I'm going to have to limit the speakers to 1 minute. But in doing that, let me say that this is the first, this is only the first opportunity. There will be a number of other public hearings. There will be a number of other opportunities to speak up. So please bear with us, and you'll be limited to 1 minute, and I enforce that pretty rigidly. So we're going to start. We're going to have, as I said, we're going to have to break at 7. Oh boy.
And planning staff would also like to encourage written comments for us to analyze as part of our 30-day comment period. So that's another opportunity to. Yeah,
there is an opportunity. The 30-day period, the NOP period is open until December 18th, and some of you, you're being limited to a minute here. You're not going to say everything you want in a minute, probably. You certainly could take advantage of the opportunity to write, email or write to the, who?
To Kelly Diekman.
Okay. And voice your opinions that way, one way or the other. Okay, now that I said I'm going to limit you to a minute, I'm going to make 2 exceptions because I think the audience will benefit from that. The first one is going to be the representative from Catellus, who perhaps, I don't really know what he has to say, but it might be something that the entire audience and certainly the staff would be interested in hearing in a little bit more detail. So I'm going to give him 3 minutes, which is still not a long time, but he's going to have 3 minutes. And the second speaker that I'll allow additional time is Mr. Blaylock, who is from the board of directors of BART, who can shed some, can give us some information about BART. So I'll give those 2 3 minutes each, and everybody else is a minute. So go to it.
My name is Aidan Barry. I'm First Vice President of Catellus Development Group. I'm very pleased to be here tonight, and I really appreciate the opportunity to address you, Mayor, Council, and staff. It was funny, as you were describing a 1-minute time limit, I was in the back crossing out different sections of the statement. Normally I like to be more informal, but because of the sensitivity of the issue and your time constraints this evening, I would like to read a brief statement into the record, and I'm sure there'll be some follow-up, either questions that you have for me or discussions in the future. Catellus, a Prologis company, is the owner of the Pacific Commons Retail Center. As you are aware, the A's have been in discussions with the city and Catellus about a potential stadium project at the Pacific Commons site for some time. Catellus has retained independent traffic and parking experts to review the reports and the proposed mitigation measures put forth and generated by the A's. Catellus, first and foremost, is committed to maintaining the Pacific Commons Shopping Center as a prospering economic engine for the city of Fremont. Catellus has identified from the outset of our initial review of the parking and mitigation plans prepared by Fair and Peers on behalf of the A's that we felt that there to be material and adverse impacts on the shopping center. Please understand, it is the proximity of the stadium to the retail center which causes adverse impacts of parking, traffic and circulation both pedestrian and auto. We hope that there are alternative locations for the stadium, which when analyzed would cause less impacts to the center. We believe it is not economically prudent to pursue the location identified in the NOP as the preferred project as depicted on Figure 3. In conclusion, and as stated before, the location of the stadium as identified in the NOP filed by the city will result in material and adverse impacts to the Pacific Commons Center. Tonight is not the forum to discuss our detailed concerns, but suffice it to say we are strongly opposed to a stadium development in the location identified on Figure 3 of the NOP. We will provide all of our detailed comments to staff by day ending on the 17th, and we look forward to continued discussions with each of you on behalf of other opportunities. And thank you for your time, and I'm available for questions.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions? Yeah.
I had a question. When you started negotiations with the A's 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you knew it was going to be a stadium and the associated uses that they were talking about. Did you not, at that time, have the same set of concerns?
The concerns have been in place since day one of our analysis. And we had a process and a series of working group meetings to try to resolve those. And the A's were able to get to a certain degree, but then were not able to comply 100% with what we felt were adequate mitigations so as not to adversely impact our retailers and the center itself.
But I didn't believe that we have a final mitigation plan. I thought that was in process.
No, it's all in process. We were working with them in advance of their application to try to get it as tight as we could.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, the next I'll call Tom Blaylock, and he too can have 3 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mayor and Council. I am Tom Blaylock, Vice President of the BART Board of Directors at the present time, and looking forward to proceeding rapidly with the Warm Springs extension. I've been working on that sucker since I was on the city staff in 1983. And out of my 35-year career here in Fremont and living in Fremont for 48 years now, I just think it's an automatic thing at this point. We are fully funded. Measure B in Santa Clara County passed, so that means they're in a really good starting block position. And the A's are coming to town in one way or another. What could be sweeter? I appreciate the opportunity to be here and comment on this. When the A's first announced they were coming to town, because of my past history in my 45-year career as a traffic engineer, I had some transportation concerns, traffic concerns, as many people have expressed. And so when the site ended up over where Cisco Field is identified, I was more concerned. Now that this site has come up to come closer to BART, I see some light at the end of the tunnel, or down the tracks, if you will. And I'm pleased that the A's are showing willingness to look at that 240-acre area that's on their plan over here. We're looking for transit-oriented development around our stations to boost ridership, and that helps cut down on the carbon footprint and the greening. And you're a champion of green, Mr. Mayor, and I appreciate that. And we think at BART we're pretty green. The rail connection that's going to happen now in due time from Santa Clara County will mean that a lot more people will be able to get on BART in Santa Clara County rather than on 880 to go up to the Coliseum. And so that will be a big shift, and people will be able to take public transit to facilities, particularly if it's at the Warm Springs Station site.